Good morning, everyone. This is Clara with Card Stamping with Clara. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator if you haven't joined me before, but if you have, I'm glad to have you back, and if you're new, we're glad to have you along. I've been working on some cards that I hope you will find easy to make, and it will help your making Christmas cards this year much easier. These are easy cards, and they're centered around just some designer series paper. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But if you would please push the subscribe button, I'd really appreciate that. That would help me, and it would also enable you to get the videos as I put them out. So today we're going to make this card, and it's made from the Peaceful Place DSP, and it's all about paper and dies today. So this little card, I didn't even put a sentiment on the outside, but I thought it looked a lot like Christmas, and so I put "May you enjoy the peace of the beautiful season" on the inside. So this is the card we're going to make today, and I'll show you what items I used to make this card. I used the Peaceful Cabin stamp set, and that's for the inside sentiment. And one of the cards, I used this little tree right here. I'll show you about that in a few minutes, but that's the only stamping we did for this one, is just the inside sentiment. We used the largest of the contour dies here. Whoops, I'm pulling out a bunch instead of the one. But we're going to be using this one, which is the scalloped one that has the little holes cut out, the little half moons, I guess you'll call them. We're going to use that. We're also going to use the third largest one. We're going to be using that one. And we're going to be using the largest in this So Sweetly Said, or So Sweetly Stitched So Sweetly. This largest die that's scalloped. And we're also going to be using the second largest of the stitched rectangle dies. So it's all about dies and paper. So let me show you what I've done, and hopefully you'll get some ideas. This one is a little bit different than we think of as being traditional Christmas. I used the Blackberry Bliss to put underneath these snowflakes. I thought that looked really rather pretty. You know, we think about Christ at Christmas time, and we think about royalty. So I used the Blackberry Bliss that is a color that looks very much like a deep purple. So I used that one. This is all of this paper that I've used is coming from the one pack of Peaceful Place, which is a 12 by 12 pack. This pretty snowflake, you've seen me use this before, is part of that pack. And I used the painted label die and laid this snowflake on top of it that's in our mini catalog. And then I embossed it in silver, and I've used the same sentiment on all of the insides, so I won't repeat those, but they're all alike. This one, I used our tree punch and some more of the paper from the Peaceful Place, and I used shaded spruce as my color. I embossed the Merry Christmas, which came from the Sparkle of the Season stamp set. And I also used the seasonal label die, this long one, because I thought that space needed, you know, to be covered with something. So this is very, very simple. And I used the stitched rectangle die there again. So you can use something that's got a little stitching or a little design, and just put together all kinds of Christmas cards. So that was another one. That's my one green one. Most of these are red and gray. But this one as you can see, is the Real Red. And this paper is also in that pack. And it's got also some shiny snowflakes and stars and things in it. I also used that Painted Labels die. And I laid the deer out of the Deer Builder Punch on top of the silver. It's a dark gray, and it shows up better in person, and I noticed that it was showing up on camera, but I'm going to turn it a little bit both ways and maybe you can see it. But it's just gray against silver, and it really looks quite pretty. I put a little trim, a little silver trim, and of course Rudolph has got to have a red nose. And there again, I used that same label die with that big old Merry Christmas, and I embossed that in white to make it show up real pretty. And then the same sentiment on the inside. There again, Real Red. This one is also done in Real Red, and I just took a sheet or a panel of that Peaceful Place that's got the cabin and what have you in it, and I layered gray and white, and then I put the mini ruffled ribbon here, as you can see, on top, and tied a little bow, and put a small Merry Christmas up there in the corner. And the idea here is to let the paper do the work for you. So I think this makes a beautiful Christmas scene, and it's not hard to make, and you can just you know, change it around, and there's, you know, there's another Christmas scene for you out of this same paper pack, and the inside is the same. This one I used the Real Red on, and here's the Christmas tree that I stamped. The beauty of this set is the stamps coordinated right with the trees that were on the Peaceful Place paper, and I thought it looked so cute just to put a little tree there, a Merry Christmas, and 3 little rhinestones that were red, the little basic red rhinestones, and then I used the basic gray on the inside. So, but doesn't that just looks like, you know, wintertime and it's snowing and what have you. And this one, I used the Real Red again, and I cut out a panel with those beautiful trees on it that sparkle with silver and what have you, and outlined it with one of these contour dies, and I just thought it set it off so nicely. So, like I said, this is all about letting the paper do the work for you, and just adding a little color, adding a sentiment, adding a rhinestone, whatever you need to as a special touch. And before long, you have all your Christmas cards made. This one is another one from the same pack of paper, and this that I outlined is gray with some silver sparkles in it, and I just decided that I would put that around it, kind of make it look like a monotone color scheme, I guess, or monochromatic. That's what I'm trying to say, not monotone, monochromatic. But anyway, I thought the trees looked real pretty, and I did not put a sentiment on this one. And I did put one in the inside with the basic gray. So there's a lot that you can do with just one pack of paper. So let's look at this card today, and it is so simple. But honestly, I think it looks like Christmas. I think it looks like the wintertime, and I would not mind sending this to anyone. So what I did is, like always, I've got my little paper pack here. Starting out with my card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. And of course it's turned this way since it's a horizontal orientation. I went ahead and stamped and put the, this is Cherry Cobbler in behind this one. I stamped it in Cherry Cobbler, and I put Cherry Cobbler in behind. So this is a little darker red than Real Red, but nevertheless, I think it's a nice color. This is the big panel from the Contours Color, the Scallop Contours dies, and I just love that. I mean, I know this was out in our big catalog, but I hadn't used it because I hadn't had that one. I bought some others to start with, and I see now what I'm missing, but I really do like this one. And here's another piece of the paper from the set. This is, of course, gray and white, or lighter and darker shades of gray, and it's a plaid. And this is the one that I used the second largest rectangle die on, and it's stitched, so that adds a little extra touch. I just basically looked for the one that would fit inside this pretty contour panel. And I drew from the Stitch So Sweetly, and it's got smaller scallops, but I don't think that is a deterrent at all. I just decided that I wanted a little break between the grays. As you can see, if you'd have laid gray on gray, it wouldn't look particularly good, and the cabin wouldn't stand out. So I cut a panel to go under that and kind of set that apart. And then, of course, this last one is done with the third largest contour die. It's the middle die. What I wrote in my directions, and what I would suggest to you, is that if you decide to make this card, cut a piece of your, look for a scene that you like, and, cut it a little larger than this. Make sure that you can lay your die down over like your cabin and get your cabin kind of in the center of the die so that everything looks nice and balanced. But just look for, give yourself enough room that you have something that you want to center and use as the focal point of the card. And I think that it'll turn out real nice for you. So all in the world we have to do is glue these together. And folks, if you can glue, you can make this card. It is, like I said, it is so simple. And yet, I decided that sometimes simple is good, and we will go for it. This is what's on the back of this one, and that was the one that I had used on that last card that you couldn't see quite as well because it was just used as a border. But this pack, after I got all my cards made and ready yesterday, and I realized that they have put this on back order for about 10 days. So, if you're anxious to make a card like this, I guess just use something that you have until you can maybe get this pack of paper that looks so pretty with these colors. But by any means, you can choose from different patterns and things and do the same thing. I mean, it is not hard. And certainly the cabin is not the only thing that would look nice on this kind of layout. But it does look good, I think, and being Christmas and what have you. Okay, I think that's good. Now then, we're going to lay this panel onto the center of this one. So it's just a matter of gluing panel on top of panel. Try not to get too much glue. The only thing you have to do is just kind of try to get it balanced as you can to make it look nice. That's really the only thing that you have to do in this particular card. I hope you've had a good week. We're about to wind down the week. We've been a little busier here than sometimes, and actually, I've been helping my husband all morning with his trucking business and doing some things that he needed to do. So sometimes you have to wear a lot of hats. Okay, I think that's all right. And the nice thing about this rectangle is it will fit right along the edge of this panel. I think this Peaceful Place 12 by 12 pack is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. And that's, you know, I can see why it has gone out of stock temporarily. They've got a lot more coming back, but it's going to be a day or two before it gets here. Let's see if I can get that laid right in there where it's supposed to be. And this one is easy because all you have to do is just line it up along the edge, and it works really nice. You know, if you wanted to put some gems on this, you could. You wouldn't have to. And when you're mailing, sometimes it's easier not to, you know, load your cards down with too much stuff. But I think it looks okay without it too, so. Here we go. Sometimes you can draw from different packs of dies or stamps or what have you. Maybe they hadn't been used in a little while. And I like to even go back and use the ones that Stampin' Up! has retired. It seems like they retire pretty fast sometimes, and you know, they're still perfectly good, and you can integrate them in with the new ones, and you know, it gives you a lot more options. So there you are. There's the 2 Christmas cards, and how fast is that? So I'll hold it up so you can see the different stitching and stuff. I hope that you can see it. But it's the stitching and the contour scallops, you know, it just adds so much to the card. Well, was that not a quick way to get a card made? I hope y'all have a nice weekend. It's coming fast. Probably not fast enough for some of you folks that have had a long, hard week. But maybe you can get a chance to rest a bit. Maybe not. You might be one of those people that has to work all weekend long. But nevertheless, maybe you can find a chance to make a card or, you know, get an idea or two. I certainly hope so. If you need to purchase something, I'd appreciate your business. I'd be glad to be your demonstrator. And all I ask is that you use the little host code here. And it's the same as is on the website. So Card Stamping with Clara will have all the list of all the things that you could possibly need for this card. It will have instructions, you know, the sizes. You don't have to write anything down when I'm doing these videos. You can watch the video again if you want to on my website. So all the information is there, and you're welcome to use it for free. And I just ask that you use the host code if you need to purchase something under $150. But you know, if you get to $150 before sales tax and shipping, then Stampin' Up! Will give you a 15% or 10%, excuse me, 10%, $15 worth of stamping money that you can buy product with. So if you should need something and you purchase $50 with me, I will send you a $10 gift of your choice out of the catalogs. So that takes care of business, and you all have a wonderful day and a nice weekend, and I will be back sometime the first of the week with another video. Thank you so much.